Welcome to Love Thy Lawyer, where we talk with attorneys about their lives and careers. I'm Louis Goodman. Today, we're going to talk with someone who's not an attorney, but who works with attorneys on a regular basis. I have the privilege of speaking with Jodie Zerega. Jodie is a highly experienced legal recruiter and founder of a recruiting firm that specializes in placing attorneys in law firms, corporations, and nonprofits. Jodie started her firm in 2003 and has filled hundreds of attorney positions in the United States, Canada, and Asia. Welcome to Love Thy Lawyer.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Where are you speaking to us from right now?
I am physically located in Sarasota, Florida, which is a beautiful little spot in Florida in between Tampa and Naples on the Gulf Coast.
Can you explain to me what sort of business that you have and how it relates to the legal profession?
My business is a legal recruiting business. So what we do is we focus on identifying talent for our clients, which are law firms and corporations throughout the United States and Canada, and like you said, Asia. And they hire us or engage with us to help them identify attorneys for a particular need. Let's say they landed a new client when they need to hire a lawyer with 7 years of derivatives experience. That's a tall order for some folks to go out and do on their own. So they'll reach out to us, give us the specifics of what they're looking for, and we go out and identify the candidates who match the criteria that they're looking for, let them know about the position, and hopefully provide a new opportunity for an existing and very well-respected lawyer, and also help our clients fill the needs that they have in order to continue to be successful in their business.
How many people are part of your team?
Right now, we are up to 10 people. We have 6 full-time recruiters, and then we have a few other administrative folks that help run the business for us so that we can do our jobs. So there's 10 of us right now.
But you've had this business for approximately 20 years. Did you have any experience in this field before you opened your own practice?
I did. So I was hired in as an internal recruiter for a large Atlanta-based law firm at the time. When I started there was 185 lawyers. I was hired in as the director of recruiting, and I was there for almost 10 years, and I took the firm from 185 lawyers, and when I left in 2003, we had 525 lawyers.
Where are you from originally?
Atlanta.
Is that where you grew up, and did you go to high school in Atlanta?
I did. I went to high school in Atlanta, and I went to the University of Georgia. Go Dogs.
What sort of educational background do you have, and how did that lead into the legal recruiting business?
I thought I wanted to go to law school. So that was actually my ultimate goal when I graduated from college from Georgia. By the time I finished college, I wasn't quite ready for that commitment. I wasn't positive I wanted to jump right into that. So I decided to go to work, and I went to paralegal school at night. So I was actually working for a law firm. I put myself through college. So I worked for this particular law firm for probably 6 years. When I was in high school, I started working with them.
You've been doing this for quite some time. What is it that you really like about working with lawyers and recruiting lawyers that's kept you in the field?
I really enjoy lawyers. They're very smart individuals. They work really hard to be successful. They've worked very hard to even, get into law school, and then, and to graduate, top of your class, and then become a specialist in this certain area. And to me, it's just fascinating that these attorneys have, all of these, they have to practice law, but they also have to be business people too. So it's an interesting dynamic that they are exposed to. And a lot of people don't understand that, how the business of a law firm works and what the lawyers have to do.
What do you understand about how the business of a law firm works? Because I think about that a lot as someone who has been in the business of running the business of a small law firm. And I'm wondering how the business of law looks to you.
It's really like any other business. It's based on profitability and expenses, trying to, figure out what your clients need in order to be able to get that business, be able to bill your time, be able to keep that client in order to have, referrals for either internal referrals, more business for yourself, cross-selling, that sort of thing. It's very expensive to bring on associates, especially at their first, second, third year. And then because of the onboarding and all the training that it takes to get these associates up to speed where they actually are profitable. And, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of the sweet spot when, they're prime for us headhunters to come in and move them to another shop because they've been trained.
How important is it, do you think, for an individual attorney to have their own book of business, even if they work in a larger environment?
I will say the larger your book of business is, the more job security that you have. Because if you want to become a partner, you want to be able to contribute to the bottom line. You don't just want to be a service partner. You can be, but let's say the economy changes and there's not a need, they have to cut corners and you're just an expense. You don't bring anything in to the law firm in order to help justify your salary. It's very much an economic game, or I guess exercise, as it is at any other business, in terms of, what are the products that they're selling and how profitable can they be? It just happens to be the commodities are the people and the business that they bring in. So yes, the bottom line is it breaks my heart when I get a call from, a senior attorney, somebody who's been, maybe practicing 20 years, and they're at a firm where they've worked on all institutional clients and either haven't had the opportunity to go build a book of business or haven't wanted to go out and build a book of business, don't even know how. And all of a sudden, let's say the partners that their practice group that they're working for moves to another firm, and that other firm doesn't need a service partner. Kind of stuck. What do you do? So I don't think attorneys are really taught that at the very beginning of their career, which I think is a mistake. I think that as a part of, on the onboarding process, I think it's important for firms to explain to them the expectations of what it takes to make a partner and how the business metrics of a law firm work. Those kinds of things aren't taught in law school. You're taught how to be a lawyer. So it is very important, especially if you're in a larger firm. It just gives you more job security. It makes you more marketable as well if you want to go somewhere.
What have you learned about building a book of business for Jodie Zerega? For
my company, or do you mean for lawyers? For my
company? For your company.
Yes. So I actually love that question because I've been doing this for so long, and I've been around and have seen different recruiting companies come and go. I've seen people come into the business and think, oh, this is so easy, I can do that. I always operate under the strictest ethics possible. And I always, everything that I do and every candidate that I represent, there's the confidentiality is paramount in my business and my recruiters. That's the number one thing that I tell them, is that confidentiality is key. And the attorneys have to understand that we are not going to divulge any sort of confidential information. But the most important thing I feel like is because we operate under those such strict ethics, and so that our clients come back to us. They trust us because they know that we work hard on their behalf. We listen to them. We really understand what they need, not only in terms of a tangible need, like I need a corporate lawyer that has, securities experience or whatever. It's not only that, it's also the culture. What type of lawyer is going to be successful in your firm? Do you want somebody who's going to sit behind their desk all day and just be quiet? Because some firms do, or do you want somebody that's going to, walk around and chit chat, and have it more of like a, social type thing? That's really important too. So back to your question, it's relationship building. It's about providing results to our clients, and it's about really trying to do the right thing.
If a young person were coming out of college thinking about a career, would you recommend legal recruiting as a field to get into?
It takes a very special set of talents and a personality to do this, because you have to have thick skin, because you're calling these attorneys who are super busy and don't really want to have time to talk to us. And so if they hang up on you or, yell at you, you can't take it personal. You just move on. You have to have somebody who can persevere through and just keep going. I always say every no you get is that much closer to a yes. So you just have to keep calling. I call it smile and dial. Just smile and dial. It's just keep on going. You'll find the person. So it's being tenacious. It's not giving up. To answer your question, I would highly recommend it to anybody that has those traits and who is driven, who loves talking to people, learning about people, and developing relationships, because that is very, very rewarding.
How is actually being in this business, especially as a founding partner of your firm, met or differed from your expectations?
When I started the business, I really didn't have any expectations. So I think that's been great, because the business has been wonderful and successful.
Two-part question. What do you think's the best advice you've ever received? And what advice would you give to a young person just starting out in a career?
My biggest advice to a lawyer who's just starting out is take that job that's 5 days a week in the office and work hard, and you learn from your mentors and they want to help you. And I think that the attorneys who are so set on going to do this, hybrid or remote opportunities are missing out. And I'm a little nervous what's going to happen in, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years, when those folks should be at the level of, let's say a 6th-year associate. They're not going to have the experience that a 6th-year associate who's been in the office has, as, as a 6th-year associate that hasn't been in the office. They're going to probably be equivalent to a 3rd year or 4th year. So I would highly encourage the young people to work hard, go to the office, take advice, get mentored, be a sponge, just soak it up, and of course, develop a little bit of business along the way, if you can.
I think that is good advice. And I also think that what you just said about going to an office and being around other professionals who are doing similar work is very important, probably for all professionals, but I think especially for lawyers, because I think that as lawyers, we have so much to learn from each other. And I think that the notion of isolating oneself out of a sense of convenience is a mistake. I mean, I think that it's a real lost opportunity, especially for younger attorneys who, are coming out of law school with some skills and some education, but without any real exposure to the actual practice of law. So I think that's very good advice.
Yes.
I'm going to shift gears here a little bit. Jodie, what's your family life been like, and how has being in this business that's adjacent to law affected your family life? How has your life fit into that? How's your work-life balance been?
That's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. Actually, nobody's ever asked me that before, so I appreciate that. When I started the company in 2003, I was 7 months pregnant with my second child. They are 2 years and 9 days apart. So I started this with, 2 babies and diapers, and I was able to set my hours. I was able to schedule phone calls around my family life. So that's something that was always super important to me, and especially with every single recruiter that I've hired, which happened to be women. All of them happened to be women, which was organic. It didn't happen on purpose. But family is first, and that is the absolute most important thing in my world and in my life. If you asked my children if I worked when they were in school, they would probably say no, because I took them to school every day. I picked them up every day. I was able to, be on the PTA or PTO and, help with fundraisers and do all that kind of stuff because I had control over my schedule.
What sort of recreational pursuits do you have, things that you do to get your mind off of work once in a while?
Well, let's see. I love to do yoga. I love to garden. That's kind of one of my new passions over the past couple of years. I have a great network of girlfriends, and I think it's important to, stay connected with girlfriends, even though you're married and you have children. I feel like that relationship with women, with other women is just super important. And so I like to spend time with them. We cook dinner. We love the Georgia Bulldogs. We have season tickets and fly up to Athens and go to the games, all the home games we go to. I have 2 dogs that now have become my children since mine are gone. Spend a lot of time with them and, just really, try to have a balanced life. I love to walk too. I walk and I've run 3 half marathons over the past few years. So yeah.
What keeps you up at night?
Oh gosh. Right now it is scaling my business appropriately, to be honest with you, and developing business in the right ways, keeping business in the right ways, making our clients happy, making placements, doing the right thing, all of that stuff that has kept me up. Yes. Right now. That's it.
What if you came into some real money, like $3 or $4 billion? Mm-hmm. What, if anything, would you do differently in your life?
Oh, gosh. So right now, I live 5 miles from the beach. I would just want to move on the beach. That would probably be about it, to be honest. I love working. I don't see myself stopping to work because I love what I do. And so that wouldn't change. Yeah, I really just think I would just kind of move closer to the beach. I love the sand and the ocean and would love to wake up every day to seeing that. That's really what I would do, honestly.
I'll tell you one other thing that you would do.
Oh, what's that?
You'd fly you and your girlfriends to the Bulldogs games in Athens in your private jet.
You are spot on, Louis. Exactly what I would do. That's the first thing I would do. Yes.
Well, let's say that you had a Super Bowl ad. Somebody gave you 60 seconds on the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You could say whatever you want to this really big audience. What would you like to say?
In your business life and in life in general, just be a good person. Do the right thing. Don't sweat the small stuff. I know that sounds so trite, but remember that you have one life. Try to live the best life that you possibly can under the most honest and forthright pretenses. Because if you do that, then you have nothing to regret.
If someone wants to get in touch with you, Jodie, what is the best way to do that?
The best way to reach out to me is to go to my website, and that's spelled Z as in zebra, Zerega Consulting, and it's all one word, .com. And you can find on the About Us page, you can find all the ways you can contact us.
Great. Jodie, is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we haven't covered that you were hoping to discuss? Anything at all that you wanted to bring up?
We have created a tool for attorneys. It's an app. It's called the Attorney Jobs app. It's free. It is exclusively for attorneys. So when you if you're interested in downloading it, you have to be approved as a user by putting in your bar number and that sort of thing. And basically it's an app that lists, we take all the jobs, all the attorney jobs from the different search engines from all over the internet, and also some jobs that aren't necessarily posted. And we've put them in one place to make it easy for the attorneys to search for jobs. So they don't have to go to LinkedIn and go to, this website and that website and search firms' websites. Everything's there. Like right now we have over 1,000 jobs listed nationwide. And you can search the jobs. And if you're interested in anything that you see, then you just push a little button and we'll call you and we'll talk to you about it. And if you're interested, we can move forward. So it's just a really neat tool.
And we can find that tool at the website that you just gave us?
It's actually in the Apple Store and in the Google Play Store. It's called the Attorney Jobs app. So you can find it on my website as well. But yes, you can any of those ways. Yes.
And
so,
in the App Store, again, it's the Attorney Jobs app.
That's right.
Great.
Yes.
Jodie Zerega, thank you so much for joining me today on the Love Thy Lawyer podcast. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Lewis. It's been wonderful to speak with you.
That's it for today's episode of Love Thy Lawyer. If you enjoyed listening, please share it with a friend and follow the podcast. If you have comments or suggestions, send me an email. Take a look at our website at lovethylawyer.com, where you can find all of our episodes, transcripts, photographs, and information. Thanks to my guests, and to Joel Katz for music, Brian Matheson for technical support, Paul Roberts for social media, and Tracy Harvey. I'm Lewis Goodman.
Oh, gosh. That's a great question. And so I think I forgot your question. Oh, my goodness. That's a hard question.